Deprived Games.
Four, three.
And welcome back to the Sleep Deprived Gamers Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John, also known as John B. the Tank.
And I'm James, also known as Demigod Phoenix.
And this week we got a little bit of news to talk about. Today it's just me and James. Unfortunately, Matt couldn't make it to today's episode. So we're going to go ahead and move forward now.
Alright, if you remember last week, I was talking about the petition for GTA 5 to become playable on the PC. Well, there was a recent bug log release that was 150 pages long that detailed all the bugs that were basically listed for the PC builds for GTA 5 since 2009.
Really?
Yeah.
And they still haven't been able to fix all those bugs.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's basically more evidence that there's going to be a GTA 5 PC version.
So they're trying to. There's a big giant list of the bugs that we're having. So basically said they're trying to get it to PC. They probably started the console version first, focus more on that. They're going to work on the PC.
You know, what that told me is that they've been working on it. They don't have a set date that they're going to release it, but they do intend to do so.
Well, hopefully they bring it to next gen too, because that'd be freaking lovely.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they intend to right after the PC version. You know, I don't see why not.
Yeah. I mean, the other day can't get enough of GTA. The other day I was playing, I found some random guy who was getting attacked by a bunch of people online. And I grabbed him, and we went and killed all the guys who were chasing him. And we're getting away in my car, and I'm like, that was close. Immediately after saying that, we got hit on the side by a semi-truck and went flipping in the car. It turns out the semi-truck was filled with a couple of the guys we had killed before.
Nice.
And they weren't too happy with us. So you can tell how that one ended. But it was fun. I mean, all the crazy shit. One of the crazy things about GTA, and one of the reasons I like a lot of those big open world games, but mainly GTA, is the crazy unscripted events that'll happen.
Yeah.
Though that's just one of the things that just makes the game. Cinematically unscripted, amazing events.
Yeah, not just amazing events, but I also love the silly things that happen. You'll be talking to somebody, they'll walk away from a mission, and suddenly they'll get hit by a car.
That, or you'll be talking to someone, they'll say something really stupid, and then your guy just pulls out a gun, shoots himself in the head when you're playing multiplayer, which is awesome. Also, the fact that you can talk and your guy's mouth moves, which makes everything funnier.
Yeah.
Alright, so what else you got for us?
Alright, well, Valve was recently talking about basically virtual reality hardware. Now, we did see that they had a prototype for the virtual reality, but they've said that in the tweet recently, they said, who's going to ship virtual reality? Oculus, of course. So they clearly said that they're going to actually support Oculus instead of releasing their own virtual reality.
Right.
To compete
Sort of how
with
they have
Oculus.
other companies making their Steam machines instead of making their own. They're
Right.
just going to come out with stuff that other companies will support and use.
Exactly. So it looks like they're going to go with the Oculus for now.
Hopefully some kind of Steam support comes with Oculus. You know what I mean? So that other games have to like port in the ability to use one, even if it's not motion control, just for like sight, if anything.
Yeah,
just to be
make it an option if that's available.
Right. If anything.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to
like
that.
when you look in the back of a game and it's like, oh, we added co-op. Just say Steam or Oculus support.
Rift support. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty cool to have.
That'd be pretty freaking awesome.
Yep.
DayZ with Oculus, that'd be more terrifying.
Yeah, that would be.
Although it'd be very helpful. I find snipers better. Snipers are my worst enemy. So.
Yeah, you see the bullet as it hits you in the face.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Yeah, let me see the engravings in the side of that bullet that say "Go fuck yourself."
All right, so for those of you in the Total War Rome 2 community that like to do modding, they're releasing a beta for official mod tools. So
I was gonna say Total War Rome 2 supports mods, but I guess now they do.
Yep, they before it was kind of just whatever tools the community could string together. But like I said, they've got a beta for their own mod tools. They said basically it's going to expand in the future and it's going to have a full release pretty soon.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I can imagine some pretty cool mods out of that. I'm sure you'll see people making like some kind of Lord of the Rings mods where it'll be like giant battles of Middle Earth, or someone will make like a Star Wars mod where it's like Clone Wars. There'll be some pretty cool stuff. That's one of the crazy things I like about mods. And actually, recently, SimCity and EA and I forgot the other company that makes SimCity, they came out and said that they're adding mod support for SimCity.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of rules behind it, which I mean, I understand the rules, but like one of them was like no copyright material. But I mean, the mod isn't being sold for money, so technically it's not illegal.
No. Yeah.
But I guess the game companies themselves don't want to get in trouble for it. So
All right. Something I saw recently that I was really excited about was that there was a teaser released for a Don't Starve DLC called Reign of the Giants. Now, there's not too much that's been said about it. Obviously, Don't Starve. It's all about being mysterious, discovering stuff by yourself. But it looks like it's going to be released in the autumn.
Reign of the Giants.
Yep.
It's an interesting game title. Who's it made by?
I'm sorry.
Who's it made by? All right, so we'll figure that out later. Alright, so what's the next bit of news?
Oh, you know who Ultima is, right? The British sports car club.
Yes, it is.
Well, in recent talks, they just confirmed that that their cars are going to be featured in an upcoming game. So they've already confirmed that they're doing that with contracts in Microsoft. So either that's going to be DLC for some Forza game, could even be a new Forza game towards the end of 2014. Don't know. But it's definitely confirmation of a new car game with Microsoft.
Right. Which, like we were talking about earlier, Forza has been known for doing every other year. They come out with Forza Motorsport.
Right.
But the year before last, they came out with Forza Horizon, which was a new spin on the Forza series, being part legal racing, part street racing.
Yeah.
So my guess is if it's not DLC, it's probably another Forza Horizon.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'd be great. I can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. Microsoft and Machinima. I don't know if you've heard about this, but
I did the whole YouTube thing, right?
Yeah, they're basically giving them permission through Machinima to pay up to $3,750 for videos featuring Xbox One. Basically on the condition that they don't say anything negative about Machinima, Xbox One, or any of the games for Xbox One.
Isn't that like kind of bribing like the news?
Not really. I mean, it's more product placement than anything else. But it does raise questions about whether or not these YouTubers should state whether or acknowledge whether or not their videos have now been sponsored.
Right, right. I don't know how I feel about this because as someone who does news, I don't want to be paid to not say bad things about someone.
Yeah.
And though I usually don't say too many bad things about people, there are times where companies or people make stupid decisions and need to be talked about. At the same time, I'm probably going to talk about those things when I'm making a video because people will listen to that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. For me, it's not a case of reporting good news or bad news. It's just a case of reporting the news however it comes in.
Right. I mean, if they want to pay me either way, I'm totally fine with that. But I'm not going to change my opinion over the fact that they don't want me to say bad things about them. So.
Oh, and just for the record, Don't Starve is by Klein Entertainment.
Oh, okay. Klein Entertainment. Never heard of them. That'll be interesting though. Yeah. I did hear about that though, so I want to look into that a little more. The picture I saw actually looks a little Tim Burtonish. The whole dark setting and all that kind of stuff for the picture they had for Don't Starve.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I've actually played Don't Starve. I have it on my I have it on my PC. You see.
I have not played that yet.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It's really confusing sometimes. But it's
Does
really
it have anything to do with starving?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you don't find food, you're gonna die.
Oh, okay.
And then you gotta start over again. Yeah, but it's a really cool game, and it's a lot about exploration. So if you can, I would say try and get into it, see what you can find.
Yeah, download it when I get some money on my hands.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, something real quick that I thought was pretty cool. Steam's accounts went up 10 million in the past 3 months.
Yeah, that was a little insane.
Yeah,
what was that, a 15% increase over their total user base?
15% increase. Yeah, it went from 65 million to 75 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, over 3 months.
That's... One of those people being my friend Brent, who you guys will hear a little bit from him on a future episode, I'm sure. He actually finally created a Steam account. And after like maybe a week after that's when that news came out, and I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. Like, how does a Steam, like anything else, Xbox, PlayStation, has been around for a while.
Right.
It's a little younger than the other ones, but it's far surpassing them.
Yeah.
But you know why? More people own PCs than own an Xbox or a PlayStation or Wii. Like, their user base is growing super fast, and with a lot of these indie games taking step in the role of being kind of a sub AAA title, like something like Kerbal Space Program or Surgeon Simulator or Fez, all these indie games that are coming out don't have high requirements for computers.
Yeah.
So someone like Steam, who really pushes indie games, is bringing a lot of people into their network.
Yeah, especially since as of last year, Microsoft was talking about Games for Windows Live as being shut down, basically.
Yep. So basically, your online options are Origin, Steam, and Uplay. I think that's about it.
Nothing else comes to mind.
No, those are pretty much the big ones.
Mm.
Which was interesting because the other day I was on Origin. As far as I knew, Origin was only EA games. I saw some Ubisoft games on there.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Which
Which makes no sense because Ubisoft has their own thing called Uplay. So it's like, unless they just put EA games on Uplay as well.
Put them on both.
Right.
Sure.
Hey, let's share ground and make money for each other. Why not? Here, make some money for me. That'd be nice. Toss some money my way. I'm talking about you. I'll say nice things only. Say nice things only, and you pay me, right? So, all right. So, you got anything else for us this week?
No, that's basically what I saw. Oh, there was that thing that was going on with Nintendo stock.
Right, their stock took a severe plummet after they announced that they were cutting back on the production of their consoles.
Yeah,
mainly because they didn't meet the goals they were setting.
Yeah, they didn't meet their sales
by
goals.
A few million. They didn't meet their goals.
Yeah, so their stock.
I think their original goal was like 9 point something million sold before the end of the year, and I think they hit like 2 point something sold.
I think that was the units that they were manufacturing.
You sure? I was almost positive that's how many they were trying to sell. Oh, well, anyway. Either way, they dropped what, 17%? They said.
Yeah, it's not the lowest they've ever been, but it's
pretty freaking low.
Ridiculous.
That's a pretty severe drop. That's usually the drop that, you know, when you're watching those movies that have something to do with the stock market, where you see everyone going crazy and throwing papers in the air because they're trying to freaking sell their stock.
Yeah. But I mean, the CEO did say he's not going to resign or make any management changes, which I think is a good thing. I mean,
it's a good thing.
Companies tend to make mistakes.
There is one thing, though, that we've been talking about for a while on this podcast.
Right.
And that's Nintendo needs to stop focusing so much on their console market. Because though there's one thing they succeed at exponentially. Handheld. They're pretty much conquering the handheld market at this point. They got all the Pokemon, all the Mario, all that stuff on the DSs.
Yeah.
But their consoles just not doing it. They're lacking some of these big AAA titles that aren't coming.
Yeah.
Not getting stuff like Battlefield. They're not getting stuff like Titanfall. You know, they're not getting some of these big titles.
I mean, I gotta be honest. Who wants to play Titanfall on the Wii U? You know.
Well, I mean, I would if they had some kind of like special thing.
It's a great console, but I don't think it's for that type of thing. Honestly, what I would like to see from Nintendo, and I might be the only one on this, I want to see them redo the old games, the good games that they had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the ones from Nintendo 64 and all that stuff. You know, things.
Well, they've been doing a lot of those over again. They came out with the revamped Star Fox and Mario 64 and all that stuff with the new graphics and all that. But those were just for 3DS. I want to see maybe not essentially Mario 64, but maybe another game just like that with the same kind of, you know, walk around and do all these crazy things, collect 120 something stars and complete a main campaign to it. I mean, that kind of stuff was fun.
Yeah.
Nintendo's kind of lost that. And because their console's lagging, I think they need to think about going to other consoles.
Yeah.
Which they probably won't do.
No.
So Nintendo will probably run itself into the ground before they do that. So
I wouldn't want to get too much into that type of stuff.
Yeah. But well, no, because Nintendo doesn't really consider themselves a video game company. They consider themselves a toy company, which is what they used to be. They used to be a toy company essentially. They used to make like trading cards.
I get that, but that makes no sense. right now.
No, what I'm getting at is they're in the same mentality, which is why they're not growing
I see
with the
what you're
game
saying.
industry.
Yeah.
They see themselves as doing their own thing and succeeding at it, even though they're not, and they're not changing.
No, in some aspects they are, but I mean, that
Well,
have evolved to fit what's going on right now.
Right. The way things are going now, they need to change.
Yeah.
And I believe there was also something I read earlier that they were asked whether they planned on bringing maybe any Mario titles to mobile. Like, give us an Android or iPhone download for some kind of side-scrolling Mario game where you just use touchscreens on there. And they said they have no
Super
plans
Mario
on that.
World.
Exactly.
Right there.
Bam. Instead of all the freaking, people get it anyway with all the, what do you call those things? We can play old games on your phone. Emulators. Thank you.
I would rather play it on my iPhone. I would pay $5-10 to be able to play that game.
Absolutely.
On my.
With it running great and just play.
Yeah. If it runs fluidly, there's no bugs, it doesn't cut halfway through the game. Yep. Absolutely, I'd buy that.
Absolutely.
Hell, I'd pay $15-20 for that.
Yep. So if you're anyone from Nintendo's listening, change your shit.
Yeah.
Sell us stuff. We want to buy your stuff. Just make it more accessible.
Start moving into mobile stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's see, with the handheld market, they would work great in mobile, but they don't.
I mean, they already have. There are already emulators on the Android market that I use for Game Boy games and stuff, so I can play Pokemon and all that. If they just released it into the market, I would buy them direct from Nintendo.
Exactly. All right, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Actually, I don't. Did we talk about Titanfall at all?
No.
Okay, so I'm sure you guys know there's currently an alpha going on for Titanfall. Actually, I think it ended this weekend.
Yeah.
And
pretty sure it ended.
EA came out and announced that there might be an open beta pretty much after this alpha closes to give a proper test of their servers. Do a proper stress test, they called it.
Yeah.
To make sure their servers are up and running, and that way things like GTA Online's launch don't happen. Which, if you guys remember that, like a lot of games that have an online thing, a lot of the Call of Duty games have had this problem, Battlefield's had this problem. They don't expect as many people to start playing the game when it comes out, and servers don't work. And so they're going to do a beta, which is great for this kind of thing, to make sure they're good to go. So I personally cannot wait to play that game. Because though they announced it's only 6v6, which a lot of people are like, oh, 6v6, but there's a bunch of AI in the game. The Titans can fight by themselves when you're not in them. The game's still going to be hectic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think as many complaints as there have been about the 6v6 thing, I think it's going to be a lot better than people expect.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a great game. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, not much else to talk about. As you can see, we're a little short-handed this week. We've been trying to, with the new year, try to have it so there's always more than one person. But
Dead Rising 3, the DLC that's going to be released is not going to support co-op.
Really?
Yep.
That's a weird bit of news to drop at the end.
Yeah, Josh Bridge, the producer, just confirmed it that all of them will focus on the single-player experience rather than a co-op experience.
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. You guys decide. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And remember, follow me on Xbox. I got some cool videos that I post all the time on there with the upload. You guys can follow James. He'll be launching a YouTube channel soon.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I would say follow me now, but there's nothing.
There's nothing to follow yet, but as soon as there is, we will let you know.
Yeah, I'll announce it in the podcast as soon as it's ready.
Yep, and you guys can also follow me on YouTube. It's John B the Tank 360, and we're gonna have hopefully the Sleep Deprived Gamers YouTube channel up and going pretty soon. So thanks for joining us, guys. I'm John.
I'm James.
And like always, stay sleepy. Game on.
Sleep Deprived Gamers.